Wisdom Collage, a reflection for Trinity Sunday. I've never thought of myself as an artsy person, though it seems I gave birth to one. My daughter, Laura, can take a pile of scraps and create something beautiful. She knows instinctively how to arrange objects to achieve both order and flair. Order I can handle. Flair, not so much. Collages of pictures particularly baffle me. I want to line up all the bottom edges or gather all the gold frames on one wall. In contrast, Laura can arrange pictures in a seemingly random fashion, yet somehow my eye wanders from one to the next, drawn by subtle connections of color, texture, or shape. Seeming chaos sorts itself out into an ordered visual journey, though, I suspect, different observers take different journeys. This Sunday's readings form a collage of sorts, though in a medium that I find both familiar and comfortable: words. All four, including the psalm, relate in some way to today's solemnity of the Most Holy Trinity. But like an artful arrangement of pictures, they do not necessarily line up or relate to one another at first glance. Of course, one can hardly expect to describe a great mystery by lining up precise words in perfect order. Mystery defies definition. The first reading from Proverbs speaks of the wisdom of God personified as a playful feminine figure, present from the beginning with God, ever beside the Creator as delightful companion and cosmic craftsperson. Wisdom here and elsewhere in Proverbs shows a particular concern and affinity for human beings. Interestingly, this Old Testament image becomes more developed in later wisdom writings. Both Sirach and Wisdom of Solomon include poems dedicated to wisdom personified, in which she appears as God's active agent, creating and sustaining the universe and befriending humanity at God's bidding. For a peek, see Sirach chapters 1 and 24, Wisdom of Solomon chapters 7 and 8. John the Evangelist recasts this figure, seeing in her a type of the one to come, the Son of God incarnate. The first chapter of John's Gospel calls this newly minted image Logos and presents a stunning poetic prologue that portrays this divine word, aka wisdom, becoming flesh in Jesus Christ. The evangelist takes the image of wisdom personified further than any other biblical writer, using it to declare definitively the divinity of Christ. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Following the first reading from Proverbs 8, images of creation carry us forward into the psalm, which comments on the stature of human beings, achieved not by their own merit, but by the gift of God. You have made him little less than the angels. You have given him rule over the works of your hands. As God the Creator hands on some level of agency and responsibility for stewardship to human beings, we hear an echo of the creation account in Genesis 1. God blessed them, saying, "Be fertile and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and all the living things that move on the earth." Here we find the wisdom of God at work, forging a partnership between Creator and human creature. The second reading from Romans declares that the love of God has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit that has been given to us. Because of this, affliction produces endurance, and endurance, proven character, and proven character, hope. Again, we find the wisdom of God at work, shaping persons of faith into mature disciples, fitting partners in God's reign. Finally, in the gospel reading, Jesus reassures his disciples that the Spirit of truth will guide them, coming from Father and Son to declare to them what they cannot presently fathom. Once again, we find the wisdom of God at work, guiding and instructing from within the hearts of disciples, drawing us all into the very life of God.